My name is Veronica Kasperzak-Bratcher, and I am the clinical director at Wildflower Mountain Ranch and a licensed professional counselor.
And my name is Lacey Rasmussen, and I am a youth mentor at Wildflower Mountain Ranch and a certified neuro coach. All right, so today we're going to talk about the role of the polyvagal theory in healing trauma, how understanding the nervous system helps with self-regulation. So, Veronica, what is the polyvagal?
So polyvagal theory is an extension of what was originally thought of as just our fight, flight, or freeze response. It was the idea that we just have those responses. What polyvagal theory is recognizing is that in our brain and in our body, we actually have three levels instead of the two, which is just on or off. We have dorsal vagal, which is the bottom. This is actually where depression, isolation, withdrawal, all of those things come in, which is a natural, normal part built into every human, because there are times that that response is absolutely necessary. If a car is coming, we need to hide and we need to move out of the way. We've got to be in, we have to have distance. There are times when it is absolutely appropriate for us to shut down. Think about when we have the flu. It's important to stay in bed and to do absolutely nothing, or when we're in that down moment in the immediate stages of grief. In action, that dormant stage is actually a part of our survival. Now, the second stage is where our fight or flight responses is. This is where there's movement. If we talk about that ladder of polyvagal, where we're often coming out of dorsal vagal and we're trying to get up the ladder. And depending on how our response is in that middle phase, we'll either go fully up the ladder to the polyvagal side, or back down the ladder to the fear side in dorsal vagal, where everything sucks, life is awful, why bother? And so polyvagal is this part at the top of the ladder that we want to be at. And it's not a permanent state of being. It's not like, I've arrived in polyvagal. We go up and down the ladder all day, every day. Everybody does.
Yeah.
It's where we are safe, secure, and connected. We feel confident. We feel like we've got this. We feel like we can ask for help. We are plugged into the world, and the world feels doable.
Mm-hmm. And how is this important for a parent to understand the polyvagal model or method so they can parent their children?
One of the benefits that the polyvagal theory has in attachment disorders specifically and in parenting is that most of our kids' challenging behaviors are in that middle stage, that fight, flight, or freeze zone. This is when they're talking back, or when they're doing nasty things, or when they're just being obnoxious kiddos, is because they're trying to do that change mode and they're trying to get to what makes them feel happy. Now, what makes them feel happy may not be on our list of to-do things that we're like, wait a second, I need you to do your chores. I don't need you to go hang out with your friends. And we don't know, wait a second, maybe they're feeling lonely. Maybe they're feeling disconnected, because our bodies are naturally, when they can, trying to work up the ladder. But also recognizing when their kids are super depressed and feeling down and kind of stuck in their room and feeling those things. Well, getting them out of that depression and getting them in the active mode does not mean they're going to be happy when they come out of their room. We have not jumped to the top of the ladder. They're in that irritable, cranky, why am I out of my cave mode? Are we sure it's safe to be out of my cave mode? No, I'm probably not going to be happy about that. And so as parents, it's being able to recognize these are stages of kind of a state of being, just as much as we consider a stage of development. And we can recognize, okay, what are we trying to do? And how can we help them both in the dorsal vagal stage as well as in that fight or flight mode stage of what do we need to help them either by us, or what can we encourage them to do that will help them move up the ladder?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that information, Veronica.
Thank you.